Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Cartoon Hotspot, and I'm back with yet another symbolism video. You guys seem to love these types of videos, and I can't even begin to count the amount of comments I got asking me to analyze the symbolism of the lucky charms. So let's do this. Before we get into this video essay, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hopefully you'll be sticking around for more video essays like this. Analysis videos, reaction videos, ranking videos, and basically anything to do with Miraculous Ladybug, because I'm way too obsessed with this slow burn romance. Anyways, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and turn on that bell button for post notifications. Without further ado, let's begin. The Lucky Charms have made quite a few appearances in the show, having first been introduced in season 1 in the episode Gamer. After feeling somewhat sympathetic for Adrien, Marinette happily gives him her lucky charm to keep. Treasuring it dearly, Adrien decides to return the favour by going out of his way and hand-making her a lucky charm, to which he gives to her on her birthday. This boy deserves the world. Somebody give him the world. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The lucky charms are significant and hold a lot of weight in this show, believe it or not. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made a reappearance in season 4. To be honest, we've only really seen Adrien's lucky charm, the one Marinette gave to him, highlighting how much he values it. Like, he's pretty attached to it. Look how worried he was when he thought he genuinely lost it. He was panicking internally. With that being said, I really hope we see Marinette's lucky charm again. Anyways, let's go ahead and analyze the lucky charm bracelets. We'll begin with Adrien's, the one Marinette gave to him. The bracelet has 8 beads. There's a light blue bead, a large pink bead, a small yellow bead, a small black bead, a square green bead which has a 4-leaf clover engraved on it, another blue bead which is sky blue, a tiny red bead, and a second large pink bead, slightly smaller than the first. And if you're thinking, is the Cartoon Hotspot really going to analyze all of the colours of the beads? You're absolutely correct. Round here we analyze everything to the spec. First up, the blue beads. The colour blue is often associated with open spaces, freedom, inspiration, and sensitivity. Blue also has connotations of depth, trust, loyalty, sincerity, wisdom, confidence, and intelligence. What about the pink beads? Pink represents friendship, affection, harmony, inner peace, and approachability, but also compassion and love. We all know pink is the product of mixing red and white together. Pink is a mixture of heat, passion, and energy that the colour red symbolises, but softened with the purity of white, leaving a colour of tenderness and affection. Now the yellow, black, and red bead respectively. Yellow stands for freshness, happiness, positivity, and optimism. In other words, the colour yellow often radiates warmth and cheerfulness. Black is a funny one in this case, because whilst it's often associated with death, people tend to forget that the colour black also represents power, mystery, strength, and authority. Red has implications of love, passion, desire, heat, radiance, and determination. Red is assertive, daring, and energetic. And finally, the green bead with the 4-leaf clover engraved on it. Depending on the angle you look at the bracelet, you would think it's just an ordinary flower, but it is in fact a 4-leaf clover. Before we talk about the 4-leaf clover, I think it's important to note that green represents a person who is creative, independent, focused, and analytical. People with green personality types tend to be inventive and logical. Now, who does this remind you of? Ladybug. Now for the 4-leaf clover. It's no secret that 4-leaf clovers represent good luck, with each leaf symbolising faith, hope, love, and success. So where I'm heading at is this. The lucky charm represents Marinette as a person. All the different colour beads and what they symbolise make up all the characteristics Marinette possesses. As explained earlier on in this video, some of the colour beads represent Marinette, whilst the other colour beads represent Ladybug. However, it's easy to fall into the trap of treating them as two different people, when we've seen on multiple occasions how Marinette easily switches on her super confident Ladybug side, and the converse, where behind the mask, Ladybug is sensitive, emotional, compassionate, and can sometimes suffer from low self-esteem. This argument is even more valid considering Adrien himself told Marinette, "You're our everyday Ladybug." Excuse me, Agreste. Did you just compare your just a friend to the love of your life? The fact that Adrien did not hesitate to point out that Marinette possesses all the characteristics that make Ladybug amazing clearly means something. Going back to my point on the 4-leaf clover, It's possible that 4-leaf clovers are lucky simply because they're rare enough to be unusual, but not so rare that they're impossible to find. So could this mean Marinette is a person you rarely find? And so Adrien treasures her so much because she's such a rare gem. He can't quite put his finger on it, but there's something about Marinette that makes her so incredibly unique that he cannot help but to admire her. To wrap up, there's one tiny detail you guys probably thought I forgot, but don't worry, I didn't. The red string, also known as the red string of fate. Ideologies about the red string of fate appear in Chinese, Japanese and Korean folklore, but vary between each one. However, they share one quality. No matter how much the strings are strained and tested, it will never break, symbolizing how two people are bound together by eternal love. We know Adrienette is endgame, so my guess is as long as they keep their lucky charms, no matter how far they stray away from each other, they'll always find their way back to one another. They're meant to be. After all, they are yin and yang. Adrien is very attached to his charm, meaning he's also attached to Marinette as a person. He just isn't aware of it. I 100% think the lucky charms will play a major role in the reveal. Now for Marinette's lucky charm. Again, don't get confused, I'm talking about the one that Adrien made for her. Unlike Adrien's lucky charm, I won't go into much detail about the different components that make up the lucky charm, but rather I'm going to be discussing how it represents Adrien as a person and what the charm means for Adrienette. As we can see from the charm Adrien made for Marinette, its main colour scheme is blue and gold. Those with a blue personality type tend to be enthusiastic, sympathetic, communicative, compassionate, idealistic, sincere and imaginative. Relationships are important to blue personality types, and so naturally, you'd expect a blue to be loyal, faithful and very loving. Now for gold. A person with a personality colour of gold has a sophisticated approach to life with high ideals and standards. They tend to know exactly what is right and what is wrong and strive to follow the right. Unfortunately, they also attract some false friends who are attracted to their success, wealth and charm. Again, who does this remind you of? Adrien. Adrien is a very complex character, probably the most complex character in the show. The lucky charm represents Adrien as a person, both sides to him. Him going out of his way to hand make Marinette her own very charm, even if he probably has never made someone a gift, shows just how much he wants her to have a part of him. Adrien's lucky charm reminds him every day of Marinette, and so it's only right that the one he made for her should remind her of him every day. Now there's one thing I want to talk about specifically on the lucky charm. The golden goose. It has a meaning. So me being me, I did a bit of research and all of the research led to this one idiom saying, "Don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg." And I thought, what the heck does that mean? Why are we talking about golden eggs? What does that have to do with this? Well, first of all, let's define what a golden goose is. A golden goose is another way of describing a continuing source of wealth or profit that may be exhausted if it is misused. Note that when we talk about profit, it doesn't always have to be financial, but we're getting there. Now we can get onto this idiom. Don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. In layman's term, this means don't destroy something that is profitable to you, mostly because of greed, or most commonly, don't destroy a source of income or livelihood through a short-sighted action. Keyword, destroy. And what does that remind you of? Destruction. And who possesses the power of destruction? Cat Noir. In other words, the golden goose on the lucky charm symbolizes how Adrien is the rightful owner of the black cat Miraculous. Remember in the Origins episode, Master Fu mentioned something about getting it wrong once. He said something along the lines of, "I only got it wrong once." Could he be talking about how he previously chose the wrong person for the cat Miraculous? We'll never know. Either way, Adrien passed the test, which is why he was picked. In the Origins, Adrien sees Master Fu on the ground as he's about to walk into the school. He had a choice between choosing what he wants, that being freedom, and what was right, aiding a seemingly helpless old man. And by choosing what was right, the rewards were far greater than he could possibly comprehend if he decided to just ignore him and carry on with his short-sighted pursuit. And by helping Fu, he gained greater freedom. He was tasked with protecting Paris, and as we know as Cat Noir, he's carefree, outgoing, free-spirited. Being Cat Noir means a lot to Adrien. He stated this so many times. To bear the power of destruction is a great responsibility. It can't just be handed out like free candy. Adrien is selfless and responsible. He doesn't misuse his powers for selfish purposes because he's aware of the dire consequences that could come with it. Destruction represents Adrien's heroism, which explains why Aspic was a complete flop with a capital F. Because in that case, Adrien decided to take the snake Miraculous for selfish reasons, knowing very well he wasn't fit for the role. Like Marinette, it's important to not treat Adrien and Cat Noir as two different people. I know I've said before in a previous video that Cat Noir is Adrien's true self, but I was wrong. So wrong. Cat Noir being outgoing doesn't mean Adrien is any less valid. They are one person. Sometimes we see Adrien bringing out his Cat Noir persona and vice versa. And the funny thing is, he doesn't even know when he's showing his other side. We don't actually know the true Adrien because Adrien himself has no clue of his true self. And until he knows, then we'll know. But basically, we won't know until Adrien knows. And that's how complex he is. So to me, I feel like the lucky charm was given to emphasize how much Adrien wants Marinette to see him for who he is, as a whole. Okay, shout outs for this week. Last week, I asked you guys what song you'd prefer to be played during the reveal. Would you rather have In the Rain, so the background music for all my videos? Or would you rather have the Miraculous theme song but the slowed piano version? And so here are the shout outs for those. Shout outs to Zoe Singh, Marina's Cairo, Lucky Bug, Nushat Chowdhury, Karen Martinez, AZM, Daily Miraculous, Miraculous Lover 415, and Tazlina. And for next week, if you want to shout out, comment down who your favorite character is and why, and I'll pick a few people to shout out. So coming to the end of this video, we can see just how symbolic the lucky charms are. The bracelets represent both characters as a whole and everything they love about each other, but they just don't know it. Or maybe they do. Adrien and Marinette believe that they can't fall in love with other people, not realizing that the other person is right in front of them, waiting to be accepted. I have a feeling it'll play a role in the reverse love square, which I believe is already in action. In order for a reveal to be perfect and not cringy or forced, the reverse love square has to be executed perfectly. That being Marinette falling in love with the other half of Adrien and Adrien falling in love with the other half of Marinette. These lucky charms are just a figure of their love, as alluded by the red string of fate. One day they'll realize this, but until then, you can't help but to smile at these lovable dorks who are rejecting each other for each other. If you enjoyed this video and you want more essays like this, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. But now I want to put it to you guys. What are your thoughts on this? If you feel like I've left anything out, then comment down your thoughts and I'll be sure to respond. As for today, that's it from me and I'll see you again next time.